Good evening, everybody. I am excited to be here to tell you about the awesome impact you can have if you were interested in the career of the medical office assistant. The field of the medical office assistant can be very fulfilling and satisfying if you have a caring and compassionate attitude, and if you're knowledgeable and detail-oriented, and you have to be overall efficient. There's many skills that are required to be a medical office assistant. Excuse me. First and foremost, a minimum of an associate's degree is required. Normally, it's a 2-year program. You can do it at various and multiple schools, colleges, universities, even at basic local technical schools. That's available. Classes range from general English, math, psychology, sociology, and then you move into your medical assistant classes from there, which involve medical coding, medical billing, ethics, infectious disease. There's multiple classes, but they usually all fit into a 2-year program. And it's pretty easy to get into that program if that's what you're interested in. Now that we know what's required to get in the field, let's identify what the actual job duties are, general pay scale, and the options that are available to you. A lot of my experiences in medical office assistant, though I've never had my degree in the program as of yet. Hopefully that will be happening in May. But I have worked in the field. I've done multiple jobs that are part of the medical assistant program. To begin with, the main duties are you're the frontline person. You're the first person that a patient sees when they come in. Normally, if you're working the front desk, you are that first impression when they come in as to how things are going to go, what's going to happen while they're there, and how they're going to be treated. You also will answer the telephone, take messages, check patients in, depending on what your computer program is. You'll check those patients in, make sure that the doctor, the nurse, the therapist, whoever they're seeing, you'll make sure that they know that they are there and that they're ready to go. You'll verify insurance companies and what their benefits are, because you want to make sure that a patient's not going to be left with a huge bill that they're not expecting. You'll schedule their appointments. You'll do the billing, sending the bills into the insurance company to make sure that those are going to get paid, and then you'll send the bill out for whatever's left over to the patient. The check-in process at my office is, the patient comes in and we do their paperwork, which involves their consent to treats, their consent to bill, just a basic overall consent form saying that we are okay to treat them and that we're not necessarily held liable for anything that could happen, and that they have been notified of everything that's going to go on while they're with us in our office. According to payscale.com, the average pay throughout the United States is about $30,590 per year, which equals out to about $14.69 an hour, which isn't too bad. So that's your basic pay scale for this type of job. And then also according to innerbody.com, the medical office assistants usually work in hospitals, doctors' offices, outpatient clinics, different types of facilities, even as far as here in Lima, we have prisons that our medical assistants help with the nurses and the physicians that treat the prisoner. I mean, it can go multiple different ways. Looking at all the requirements and job duties, it's easy to see that while there's a lot of work involved, it can be an extremely rewarding and fulfilling career. I thoroughly enjoy it. There's a lot of positive outcomes. The first one that I can think of is it's just so rewarding to see a patient come in who is feeling sick. They're hurting. They don't feel well. Obviously, they're at the hospital more than likely for something that's going on. Sometimes, yes, they come in if you're at a doctor's office for their basic checkups, medication refills, things like that. But more often than not, your patients are sick, they're hurting, and they don't want to be there. In reality, they're there because they need to be. So we get to, as medical office assistants, we get to look at these patients and they come in and watch them progress. We get to see, and I work in therapy. We get to see them come in with horrible, horrible knee or back pain and talk to them 3 times a week for 6 weeks. And by the end of that 6 weeks, they're a different person. They feel better, they look better, they're happier. It's amazing, amazing. And with that, we also get the opportunity to see these patients and get to know them on a more personal level, because we are that person that's sitting in the waiting room or sitting right there where they come in, and we get to know them. We get to know them as people and not just patients and what they're here for. We get to know them and know what's going on with their families, get to know what they like, what they're interested in, what they're doing later in the day. So then when they come in the next time, you can ask them and say, you know, hey, how was your motorcycle ride? Or, you know, there's things like that that are just so personal, and it makes that patient feel special. The patients recognize the level of service and the value of our job, and they acknowledge that, and they encourage us. They come in and say, you know, you're doing a good job, or, you know, when you smiled at me and asked me how my day was, that they tell you that made their day, and that warms my heart. It is awesome. And we get to show that caring and kindness that and the compassion that most patients, we just don't have to identify them as their disease, their illness, their sickness. They are people, and we get to know them as people. So, I mean, if you take these skills, the duties, the rewards of the medical office assistant, you might find it's the perfect choice for you. And it's a lot of it's just based on your skill set, your interest, and your personality. And that's the easiest way to go. So after attending a 2-year university, that may seem daunting to a lot of people. If you're not one that enjoys school, do it online like I'm doing. It's you know, it makes it a lot more convenient when you can work with your own schedule. But there's many job duties, many different roles that we have to play in this field, and it's something that can be done, and it has to be done. The schooling has to be done in order to do a job well. But once you've gotten past that hard part and you've made it through school and found a job, the rewards are endless, and you can have an extremely long and happy career as a medical office assistant. So I just want to thank everybody for their time and attention, and I hope you found this speech to be informative and helpful as you begin, you know, to make your career path decisions, and maybe the medical office assistant may be the choice for you. Thank you.